Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I'm your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by SFL CEO, Deucey Moose himself, Zach Stanley.
What's up, Jonald?
That's it? That's all you got for me today?
Everything that I have for you.
Man, this show is kind of put together on
What's
the fly.
up, dude?
Really? Wow.
I think it's going to rain.
What a surprise. The Star Fantasy League Show is not actually a fantasy show. It's a meteorology show. Once again.
Hey, we all know that sometimes in those outdoor contests, weather can come into play.
He's actually right. Nick, you think he's right? Nick Steblenko? Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, you do? All right. For some reason, we're having one of these days where Nick doesn't want to be a part of the show. And
One-word answers.
Yeah.
What? You came up with what up, dude?
That is true. You guys are both a little
I was
off.
trying to get in there.
You're both a little off your game today, and I understand why. It's a complete remodel of the Star Fantasy League show today. We did a little bit of an all-star game breakdown yesterday instead of fantasy in the first segment, and everybody on Twitter was like, why don't you do more of that? We'd love it. More sports talk. So what we're doing on the Star Fantasy League show, the biggest news stories in the sports world for the day are going to go in the first segment of the show every single day. We still have Jonald's mailbag for your questions and comments. Tweet us at SFL Show. And the last segment of the day will be that day's fantasy breakdown.
So we're talking about big stories in the opening segment. Are we going to talk about how badly I beat you last night, or is that not big story?
That I don't
See, no response.
I don't.
Oh
know.
yeah.
Was it really that bad? You beat me by like 11.
Yeah, that's the first time I broke 50 in a while.
He's got a little momentum.
You know what? I actually have that written down on the sheet. It says, "Oh my God, I'm in a rut."
Yeah, a 2 or 3 game rut.
You know what the funny thing is, though? I spent a lot of time going back and forth yesterday about Dice K and Clay Buchholz. Dice K, Clay Buchholz. It turns out they were almost the same salary and got like a half a point difference.
Yeah.
And I had the pitchers. All my pitchers were great. You had almost the exact same pitchers, and I don't know, man. My offense was just garbaggio.
Maybe today will be a different day.
It is always a chance to be a different day.
He's narrowing the gap.
He's still behind by 3.
This is true.
He's won like 3 in a row, too.
It'll be 2, though, after today.
Oh, you are confident. I like it.
Yep.
But today, in the third segment of the show, before we close out, we are going to go over today's breakdown. There are a few hours left to get your lineup set on StarFantasyLeagues.com for today's baseball contests, and we're going to give you all the breakdown, who to put in, who our favorite plays of the day are. If you were listening yesterday, you heard the same information, but guess what? You get to hear it again, because we are changing it up completely on the show, like I said. But you guys want to get into big stories of the day?
I like it.
Finally.
It's whiny McBronbron. What a surprise. NBA free agency, NHL free agency. We have lots of people that need to go to new teams or stay with their old teams or complain about their old teams.
Yeah, a lot of people that need to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, and a lot of names that need to be announced for NHL because the NHL just doesn't like to be, marketing itself at this point in the year. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's an understatement because if you look at the major websites like a CBS Sports, because we're on CBS Sports Radio, so they're mentioned first as the biggest thing in the world, right?
Yep.
No? Yes.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Correct. Good job, Nick. You were right.
Sure.
But if you look at ESPN, I don't see any NHL breaking news. I don't see NHL signing information. It's a little depressing, to be honest.
There's no drama around it. It's all business.
It also has nothing to do with the fact that ESPN no longer, and has not for quite some time, had a contract with the NHL. Sure, it has nothing at all to do with it.
Well, I would agree. But I would agree a little bit. Yes, that does play a role, but the fact is there's no drama in NHL free agency. There's really, literally none. There are no stories.
Who is creating the drama?
It's agents. It's agents. It's media, news outlets. They have to be somebody that's manufacturing this stuff.
But I know what your point is. ESPN has a very large hand, a large role in manufacturing said drama.
What I would argue is that these names, Ovechkin, Crosby, I don't know, Getzlaff, whoever you want to say, they don't come up as regularly for a new contract. They usually stick with their team. We know that the NHL seems to, there's a lot more parity in terms of who ends up winning at the end of the season in the NHL. And I think that that's part of the reason that a lot of these players are willing. There's a lot of youth that comes up. There's a lot of changes that can be made throughout the course of the season to boost a team. A lot of these players have no problem extending, but the NBA has become a culture of stacking up these teams, winning, people wanting to join up, people saying their careers are running out of time, whatever.
Yeah, you don't really see Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin saying, yo, we should get together this summer.
Don't they not like each other, too?
Well, according to the meager attempt by the NHL to make it a real rivalry between the two of them. But no, there's not a real rivalry there. Sidney Crosby's a complete player. Alex Ovechkin plays offense. He doesn't know what defense is.
Ooh.
That's true. He had like a minus 50 rating last season. That's pathetic.
It just seems that the NHL doesn't have as much of a problem with, I don't know, kind of the talent pool, really. I mean, there's enough talent dispersed around the NHL that a decent team can become pretty good pretty quickly.
See Colorado Avalanche last year.
Yeah.
With the NBA, there's just a lot of players that are below that tier of extremely good players. And there are a lot of very, very good players.
Well, the other thing, though, but the NBA is more of a star-driven league. You have 5 players on the court at a time. There's really, I mean, and in the NHL, there's fast changes. You literally have to use your entire bench up. So it's a star-driven league. So a LeBron James can go to any team and make them instant contenders because he controls the flow of the game much more frequently than, say, Sidney Crosby does, where he maybe gets 3 or 4 shots on goal.
Right, you have so many lines, you have so many people on the ice. But that's a lot more players that actually participate in the contest.
Absolutely.
The NBA, it's at this point, it's becoming so crucial for these top teams to be stacked up enough that they have a chance to win. Otherwise, I mean, we see how many teams, we know that, I don't know.
76ers don't have a shot.
Right. I mean, we know right now that the Knicks aren't going to win next year unless something crazy happens.
Yep.
You know what? Let's transition into the NBA. We talked a lot about NHL free agency kind of being, you could say it's boring, right? It's just players are signing. There's no real drama that's created because of it.
There's no flavor to it.
Yeah,
yes.
as opposed to the NBA, which is 100% drama-driven, speculation, sources, rumors, ding, 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 ding. They're buzzwords. That's all it is, right?
Yeah, very true.
But, okay, we have to talk. You know what the funny thing is? We're talking about all this speculation and rumors. You know how many signings there were yesterday? Agreements for being signing? One. There was one.
What? It was Channing Frye?
It was Channing Frye to Orlando, which... Honestly, he opted out of his deal in Phoenix, and he went to Orlando.
Yeah, but he got $8 million a year.
I understand.
Paid.
I'm pretty sure he could. If Phoenix struck out on all their free agents and he opted out and just stuck around, I bet you he would have been back with. Phoenix.
You're not willing to take that chance, though.
I mean, if $8 million's on the table for him, you really think he can't just say, you know what, give me a couple weeks and I'll come back to my $8 million? You
know what's great though is Channing Frye gets $8 million a year. If you look at some of the top players in the NHL, they get $7 million a year.
Yeah,
like it's
nuts.
Crazy. Well, I mean, so a guy like that, I have to agree with Zach. You opt out, you go get paid. That's it.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying he opted out. He could have gotten that money if he just waited. If he opted out and then just waited a little while, Phoenix strikes out with all their big free agents. That money would have been there at home for him if he wanted to stay with that team.
Yeah, the Suns have some more appealing prospects, but are still in flux about who they're going to end up re-signing as well, because right now they are not nearly attractive enough to draw any of those large names.
Which
over
is
to
sad
them.
because I actually like the makeup of that team. I think that's a pretty decently figured team for a superstar to come in and go, oh, you already have all these pieces of Goran Dragic and Eric Bledsoe. They need a 3 or a 4. Oh, look, there's a bunch of them on the market.
I mean, you had to love the days when it seemed like, there were just more teams that were in play. Like even when the Bulls were winning constantly, they only played one team twice in those 6 wins.
That's true. Which
was the Jazz.
Yeah, we also have to talk about those Heatles that are trying to keep their big core together. They did sign a couple guys that will make them, I don't know, at least reconsider. They did sign McBob, Josh McRoberts, who has my favorite nickname. Man, he is an interesting piece for that team because they needed help with rebounding, toughness inside. They had Birdman, and nothing else.
Yeah, I agree.
McBob adds exactly what you need. It's toughness, it's offensive rebounding, it's just getting the toughest guy on their team and guarding him.
Yeah, but then they also signed Danny Granger. I'm not really sure what they're hoping to accomplish with that.
That's so little money. They're expecting him to fill in for the Rashard Lewis role of aging vet who can still put up some shots and make them win wide open.
I can't see him being a big factor, and honestly, from what has gone on so far, it seems like they don't really want to make that big of a splash just yet until they figure out everything that's going to happen. I think that might have something to do with Carmelo Anthony.
Didn't Pat Riley already say that he thinks the big three is they're coming
yes,
back?
he does. Well,
he has to say that to save
the
face.
people around Pat Riley, blah, 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 blah. I mean, if Chris Bosh ends up leaving, I would want to go to the Heat if I was Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that's the biggest question. Okay.
Because then they can get him.
Yeah, if Bosh makes the first move and says, you know what, I'm not waiting around for... He said, I've read reports that say he wants to stay with LeBron. But let's say he just goes to Houston, doesn't wait for anybody's decisions, and then Carmelo has the option of slotting in as the new Chris Bosh.
I don't understand why Bosh wouldn't just take it. He's getting a max contract from Houston with James Harden and Dwight Howard.
And he fits.
That's fantastic.
Let's be honest. We talked about it on yesterday's show. I think for an actual basketball fit, that is his best situation because that team can space the floor. He can play a four that actually trolls the perimeter because they have an actual center who plays amazing all-NBA defense, defensive player of the year. Why not
and he
go to
was
that team?
the second most effective jump shooter last year in terms of percentage.
Can you imagine that team spacing the floor with Harden out there, with Parsons on the perimeter? You got Bosh on the perimeter, and then you have Dwight Howard down low, slash and kick for Harden. I mean, this could be a great offensive team.
Parsons might be gone, though.
If they sign Bosh, I don't know.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
But let's be honest. They've already said they have a trade for Lynn, basically set up with several teams. Philadelphia said they're interested in him, which I can't even understand
but Philadelphia's like, what did we find out? $35 million below the cap
right
floor?
now.
So they have to sign some people.
I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to get pieces that are attractive to be able to retrade to contenders if necessary. And a piece like Jeremy Lin, if you need a scorer off the bench or something, guess what? A team will spend money like Indiana last year with Evan Turner. They spent money for him at the end. A piece like Lynn, I think that could be interesting.
I would just be concerned about the Bosh contract being large, similar to Lynn's being as large as it was at the time, and not really. I mean, he's 30 now.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's a lot of money.
Oh boy. Old boys.
22 a year.
We're talking lots about free agency. I'm sure that talk will continue as players just get scooped up. And coming up after the break, it is time for a little bit of Jonald's mailbag. And you listen to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Jonald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
Welcome back to the Star Fantasy League show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester, New York. I just realized, guys, it is Tuesday, and you all know what Tuesday is. It's Food Tuesday on the Star Fantasy League show. Instead of the beginning of Jonald's mailbag, why are we not talking food right now?
Chicken Florentine.
No. What?
Chicken dishes. Chicken Marsala.
Chicken French.
Chicken Devon.
Chicken French.
Chicken a la mode.
You know what the funny thing is? When we were at the...
Chicken a la mode?
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. We were at the Rochester Red Wings game a couple weeks ago where I unceremoniously made an ass of myself, which I tend to do in public most times. And they did have chicken French on the menu in the press box. So thank you to them for having a nice chicken dish.
Yeah. They also had red osier, which is dank.
Yeah, we ate twice. That was we were fatties.
We were there for at 2 o'clock.
That's true. We were there from 2
I need to eat at 2.
until
I need to eat
8.
at 5. I possibly need to eat at 7. Just saying.
We do like to eat on the show. I was cutting together a promo episode for the network to put out to other outlets, and I may have cut together an episode where we pretty much only talked about food for like 8 minutes of it.
Yeah, it's one of the things we do best, or at least I know I do.
Which day was that?
It was May 30th.
What was the item?
I believe we crapped on a certain place that we're not allowed to mention for purposes that I can't talk about on the show.
We were talking about home fries?
No. I should have cut together the episode where we just exclusively talked about home fry. That was pretty funny.
Home Fried Tuesday? That was fun.
Yeah, that was. Send us your tweets at SFL Show if you want to give us some suggestions what to talk about on Food Tuesday next Tuesday. Or if you want to just give us some advice, some feedback on how you think the show is formatted now. Like we said, we're doing some news off the top of the show, moving fantasy to the end, and obviously John's mailbag stays because it's John's mailbag. Come on now. That's never, ever, ever going away.
Never ever?
Nope.
Never ever.
Chicken.
What is this, Bubba Gump?
Nuggets?
Ooh, how did you forget chicken nuggets?
Chicken wings.
How about the dinosaur chicken nuggets? Those were the bomb.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets?
Yeah, the one were shaped like little dinosaurs. Like
you mean the cutouts. I thought you were talking about dinosaur barbecue, and then I got excited.
Chicken with
now
stars.
I might go there.
Yeah, we should. How are we not partnered with? I asked this on the show that I was cutting today. Please send us a catered lunch, somebody. We just want to talk about your show. That's our sponsorship deal. If you own a local restaurant and you want us to talk about it, just send us lunch and we will talk about you all day long.
Yeah, got it. So simple.
We'll eat on the air.
That's actually true. We probably will eat on national radio.
Smacking and crunching and munching.
That's a little weird. We're going to move on to John's mailbag after that atrocity of what you just said. Wow. All right, let's start off. Kevin D. writes, Browns standout receiver Josh Gordon was arrested for a DWI over the weekend, adding to his already well-documented drug issues. Is Gordon a lost cause at this point? I got to preface this by saying all three questions we have in today's mailbag are really depressing. I don't know how this happened this way, but they're all depressing.
Well, this is the most depressing of them all, I bet.
Sort of, yeah.
This is sad.
I don't want to write him off as a lost cause because I like to stay positive and think that he does have a shot at coming back. But, yeah, he's already facing a 1-year suspension. This just adds fuel to the fire. It sounds like he has friends that are not really helping him out, and that's kind of something that we've heard a lot from the NFL in the past forever.
But
I was trying to think maybe it was recent, but no.
Most athletes, we just assume when they get to the level that they're making millions of dollars, this is what causes them to go off the deep end a little bit if they don't have a good support system. But to be honest, I was doing a little digging into his college career as well. He had some problems off the field at Utah, at Baylor. I mean, he bounced around. So this isn't new. It's not like we're going, oh, where did this come from? Where did the drugs start?
Yeah, and people talk about this, this shouldn't be what it is. Just because he had 3 strikes, it's marijuana. Marijuana shouldn't be illegal in the NFL anyways, on and on and on. But the reality is that it has been. Mm-hmm. It is. And he knew the consequences that were coming. So to try to say that he doesn't have problems going on, that is an extremely difficult argument because he is consciously making these decisions, which means that he probably feels like he needs to be doing it.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I know what it's like to be an athlete at that level.
Making
to be
millions
a
of dollars.
Exactly, because obviously it's going to have an effect on who you are, how you live your life. And I don't think that we can fully understand or appreciate that unless you're in that position. But at the same time, from the outside looking in, you have one of the most amazing opportunities that you can ever have in this world, and you're blowing it. You're just straight up blowing it. You need to cut ties where you need to cut ties. You need to figure out how to better your life. And I really hope that there are some people around him that can help pick him up and put him back on the right path.
Well, it's not like the NFL doesn't have like these placeholders there to help the players if they're in issues. Like we've seen Tony Dungy's rehab several players, him and Michael Vick when Michael Vick had his issues. Somebody like that in the community, former players that have been through this, that can help them through it. I mean, and they just had the offseason. I think it was either last offseason or this one where they instituted the program to pick players up if they've been drinking. They literally all you do is you press a button on your phone and it sends for like a limo or a town car. Well, this could have solved this issue. Oh, guess what? Press a button. There's a town car.
I feel like they need to take a more aggressive approach to it.
I also think that there are, for all the good people that you can have around you, for all the people that are telling you the right things and supporting you, 1 or 2 bad people can ruin all of that.
Absolutely.
And people that you can't get away from, people that poach that side of you that makes those bad decisions, that has made those bad decisions historically, and it can unravel from there. So unless you are making the decision that you need to go in a different direction and you are on board with it, it's difficult to change somebody.
Richard Sherman made a comment about this earlier in the offseason.
Of course he did.
Okay, come on. It's a good comment.
He comments on everything.
He made a point, though, that it's not easy to cut ties with people that you grow up with. He grew up, obviously, in Compton, L.A., not a good neighborhood by any means. But come on, like you're there. You either need to help them be a better person, or you need to cut ties. You don't have an option here. This is your job. This is your life. This is not negotiable. It's just not. You can't say, oh, yeah, you know what, I was friends with you, so now you're part of my posse, and everything's good.
And to be honest, the DWI, I understand the concern. This is an unraveling. This is just getting worse. But honestly, that is probably the thing that I found least surprising. Because he's looking at a year. He's not going, Yeah, that's, that is things unraveling. That is, you say to somebody, instead of figuring out a way to help you or make this better, we're going to escalate to a full year, which is the rule. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I think that makes him coming back and him recovering from the issues that he's dealing with more difficult.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that he likes to play football.
I would hope. He's one of the most promising young athletes in the league.
Right, and I wouldn't be surprised to think that this kind of destroyed him in a way.
Let's hope not. Man, we got somber really quickly on the show. Let's get a little bit more upbeat. This is a fun story. Colin M. writes, controversy boiled over regarding Nelson Cruz's selection to the AL All-Star team on Monday when the Red Sox got involved in the discussion. Where do you stand on Cruz being an All-Star? All right, Nick, do you want to preface this story where this actually all came from?
What do you mean? Oh, the Buck Showalter?
Yeah,
discussion?
the whole ridiculous Baltimore against Boston and the war of words basically after the game in the media.
Well, it had to do with John Lackey as well. And I mean, somebody asked him about what he thought about Nelson Cruz, and he said that he didn't want to comment because he was inferring that he had an issue with Nelson Cruz and his past and what he has done since then. Buck Showalter then told him to look in his own backyard, referring to David Ortiz.
Yep.
And
who was in the 2003 report.
Yep. And then Ortiz basically told everybody to shove it.
Yeah, I can't. I can't love Poppy enough.
I know. It's hard when you're looking at a guy that just did this a couple months ago and was suspended.
Yep.
To a guy that was talked about over 10 years ago.
And never actually proven.
Yep.
Ever proven.
It's true. He was never proven.
He was never suspended, and regardless of what he was tampering with in the early 2000s, we're over a decade away from that.
Yep.
There's really no reason to bring him into this at all.
My favorite part of the conversation is Poppy getting mad that they claim he got a free pass. He just basically flipped out on the media for that.
Yeah, and he said that he's been tested a ridiculous amount of times. Even just this year, he said that has been tested 40 times so far? That's insane. It's unbelievable.
He has more tests than hits this year. That's not true.
And I'm going to stick with the fans on this one for Nelson Cruz.
Because
I would say that the fans are the ones that have been by far the most critical of steroid use. There's been some back and forth in the media, some that say, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Everybody was doing it, on and on and on. But the fact that the fans voted him in.
I want to say, though, that I think Nelson Cruz might have been overlooked just a little bit thanks to Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun was an enormous scandal, and I think that everybody was focused on him. Notice he's not in the All-Star game.
Hold on. Did Nelson Cruz repeatedly lie about how he was shamed into this?
No, he did not. The other thing, though, is that...
Did he mislead your boy Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
I don't think Nelson Cruz and Aaron Rodgers are friends. I'm going to go out on a limb there.
I think he was talking about... Oh.
Yeah, he was talking about Ryan Braun and Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. Yeah. What I will say, though, is that Nelson Cruz was punished. There is a system of punishment in the Major League, and it's really bigger punishment than in any other league. You're talking about 50 games. It's 2 months of missing baseball. Then you get 100 games, which is 3.5, 4 months of missing baseball, and then the whole season. So I don't know that there's any other punishment system out there quite like that. Hockey certainly doesn't have that. The NFL maybe, because then there's a shorter season. There's only so many games. And then basketball, I don't think they have that issue.
I have a more important question here. What is up with these chirping Baltimore Orioles this season? We had the Machado issue. They're going after the Oakland Athletic. I mean, this team...
Who had a great game last night, by the way.
Who, Manny?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
5 for 6.
Yeah, he did.
And a homer.
Cruz destroyed. He was, 5 for 5, too? I mean, what is going on here with the Orioles? Is it because they're the best team in the AL East?
Yeah, they're in the spotlight. Once you get into the spotlight, everything starts to be criticized, and
but
winning is supposed to take care of that.
They seem to be like I said, with the Machado thing, where he's attacking players, throwing bat. He seems to be a little chirpy, and then the whole team. Showalter's throwing jabs in the media. Do you think being at the top of a division that's basically considered one of the best in baseball, that allows them to just basically do whatever they want?
Yeah. When's the last time that they were there and the Yankees and the Sox weren't?
Actually, wasn't Baltimore up there last year too? They were pretty decent.
When's the last time they won the AL East?
Well, we're pretty far out. The bottom of the AL East is 9 games out right now, and that's one of the hottest teams in baseball. So
I just think it's a team with. I mean, this is a guy that has always been a fiery manager.
yeah,
It's always been the way it is. So
Showalter,
it's
no
not.
way.
It's not surprising that this is pushed down to his players a little bit. And Nelson Cruz has always been a little fiery himself. He was kind of that way on Texas.
He's been kind of quiet through this whole thing, though. I haven't heard from him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care, to be honest. I think that it's good for baseball when things go back and forth. I think that's that extra part of baseball that gets people a little excited and talking a little bit more.
I think the biggest problem is that everybody's been scarred by the steroid era, and now everybody has to believe that maybe they are actually juiced.
That's true. Everyone's walking on eggshells. Are they? Aren't they doing steroids? It's a pain in the ass. But we're going to talk about the pure game. We're talking about Tuesday. That is today baseball wrap-up. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Donald, Teddy Bear 2, and the Deucey Moose. Only on the Team.
I apologize to our listeners if you hear us and we sound a little frantic. We had a bird fly into our studio and just keep ramming itself into our door during our last segment. It was a little strange. We are firing the bird.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, great. Talking Head Zach
Here we
is
are.
back. Did you
It
really...
looked like a robin.
Wait, did it look like Robin Van Persie?
Van Persie.
Personally, I think it looked like an Oriole.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Oh.
It may or may not have been one of our programmers who is wearing an Orioles jersey who was repeatedly slamming things into our door.
Teddy had an Oreo donut this morning.
An Oreo.
Oreo.
Donut?
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were implying that I ate a bird.
You thought I said Oriole?
Yes.
No, nothing. What
I
are
did
you
not eat a bird.
When does anybody see like?
I
Do we
did
even
eat some
have?
chicken.
Do we have Orioles here?
Probably not. No.
Like looking in the tree. Oh, look, an Oriole.
No. Speaking of Orioles, we need to get to Major League Baseball. We are switching up the Star Fantasy League show. Normally in this segment, we'll be talking about tomorrow's matchups. But what we're doing is you have around an hour, a little over an hour, to get your lineup set tonight on StarFantasyLeagues.com for today's contests. We're going to break down all the matchups, all the pitchers, all the batters, who we actually like, so that when you hear this information, you still have a little bit of time to get in there and set your lineup. So you can wait. Don't create your lineup just yet. We'll make it for you.
We're getting you ready, sweetie.
Yeah, just maybe listen to me.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, since Nick is so hot over the past
Thanks, buddy.
3 days.
You know, I have lost some weight.
I didn't mean that kind of hot, you weirdo.
Is that true?
No.
No.
I probably gained weight.
I love it. At least
I ate an Oreo donut this morning.
At least he's confident, guys. Calm
I am.
down.
I love myself.
All right, what we like to do is we like to start out with the stacks of the day, the stacks that we're actually going after and looking at. So let's do that. On StarFantasyLeagues.com, a stack is when you put anywhere from 2 to 4 players from one single offense into your lineup. 4 is the maximum. 2 is kind of the minimum, I guess, sort of. You can put 1 player, but that's just makes you weird.
Put a few in there.
Stack of the day, stack of the day.
No, we're not doing stacks of the day yet. That's the last segment of the show. It's not like you've ever listened to this show or been on it before. God, Zach.
It's been a while.
All right, so
almost 24 hours.
where are we looking for a stack, the big stack of the day? Because I see some really big over-unders for today.
Well, if I had to go somewhere. There's a couple. First of all, I think we need to talk about the fact that the Chicago Cubs and Cincinnati Reds are on a doubleheader. I know we said something about that yesterday. They came out with the pitchers, and I have no idea who they are. Wada and Holmberg. So I think it's enticing to pick against them. I was looking a little bit at Cincinnati just because I do like some of the pieces that they have. You can find some valuable stack in there.
Votto back on the DL, by the way, today. That was just announced.
Yeah. Well, so they Pena. I think Pena may be subbing in, maybe filling in. It's either him or Jay Bruce or there was like one other guy they were going to rotate in, the 3 of them. So I think Cincinnati has some interesting pieces there. Billy Hamilton for one, Devin Mesoraco.
Yeah, Mesoraco has been on an absolute tear.
Fantastic.
Jay Bruce.
And Jay Bruce.
I actually like the dual stack in this game because you've got one guy that is making his debut, and you got another guy who's only had one career start, you got to think that it's not going to somehow be a 2-1 game or something like that.
Yeah, but sometimes we've seen these guys that get called up from AAA, and then players don't know how to react.
Yeah, but we also see them get blown out, which is why I'm saying if you get one of these two guys in a blowout, you could win a chunk of double-ups or heads-up tournaments.
That's true. Yeah.
I completely agree, but I don't know if I'm going for that. But my stack that I mentioned yesterday, the big stack for me is the Milwaukee Brewers. What a surprise. I'm all over the Brew Crew. I'm trying to see if they have a lineup out yet for that game, but of course they don't because they don't like me very much.
I don't know, though. Milwaukee, we said they're getting expensive. They're kind of tapering off just a little bit. They haven't been as hot. So I kind of want to wait for that price to come down. We saw this with Colorado earlier in the year.
They're still not they're not up to like the 95 to 10,000 that all those Colorado Rockies. I mean, you can still get Jonathan Lucroy's under 9. Gannett at the top of that lineup. Scooter's been really good. He's a lefty. You definitely want to get some lefties in there against Kyle Kendrick. He's only 6,500 on StarFantasyLeagues.com. But then, obviously, if you want to spend for Gomez or Braun, you have to pay. But Aramis Ramirez is not up there either.
I just don't know if I would I don't know if I would pick 4.
I think
I would
go
2, maybe 3.
That's exactly where I'm definitely putting in Gannett. I can tell you that 100%. Yeah. Lefty against Kyle Kendrick, and he's inexpensive, and he fills a need because second base, I usually don't like that many second basemen, I'll be honest.
I think if you really like Milwaukee, the one place that you have to stack tonight. See what happened?
Tonight. New show,
new format. Place that you have to stack tonight is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has the most affordable stack. We've said it before. They are one of the hotter teams in the league on offense. They have some really affordable players, Logan Forsythe, Brandon Guyer, who are both under 5,000. Forsythe's 3,900. And you can get Longoria for 6,900, and he always has a chance to go yard. So if you want to stack Milwaukee, get those bigger bats in there, you throw those 3 guys in, and you automatically have more money to play around with.
Yeah, another ridiculously inexpensive stack that we've talked about that I can't actually do with a good conscience to put them in there is San Diego. They're at Colorado, but let's be honest, their most expensive hitter is Seth Smith. He's a lefty going up against a lefty. Franklin Morales is not good, but I don't trust these San Diego bats.
Well, last night they put up 6, right? San Diego?
Was it 6?
I think they put up 6.
Ooh.
I think the park is what's going to drive you towards this the most because in Colorado, as John has said many times, the air carries there. Mm-hmm. Not just the ball, but the air.
The air carries. That is actual quote from me.
I think that is going to entice you more to put San Diego in, but they are really, really bad. They are the worst, like worse than anything I've seen in a long time.
What if I did a game stack for San Diego, Colorado, and a game stack for Houston, Texas, an over-under of 11 and an over-under of 10?
That would probably get you
in double-ups.
There's some value in there, I'll say that much.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of lineups where you can get some decent-priced players right now. The way that Texas's offense has been, as some of these guys have dipped a little bit. Chu has dipped. I guess Beltre's right about the same price, but
yeah, he's been there pretty much.
And especially with San Diego, I just think there's some decent opportunities here with these high over-unders. And there's such close lines, too, as well.
Yeah, that is true. Usually when you get an over-under of 11, you're not getting like a minus 115 or a minus 105. That means that's going to be a close game because both pitchers likely suck.
I think you're going to see the under in that one. The Rangers aren't that great against right-handed pitchers, And Houston, they don't entice me. They really don't.
Wrong again, Nick.
You know what's funny?
You know what?
There's a lot of big over-unders. There's a 9.5 over-under in that Boston-Chicago White Sox game. I am just done. I'm done with the Boston Red Sox.
Can't do it anymore. I think you could put in Danks.
I would say, no, don't do
Yeah, you could. He's been great the past couple of games.
Boston had a very, very advantageous game against Scott Carroll the other day and put up a bagel. I just said the other day, yeah. Bagel.
The other day is yesterday.
Okay, bagel.
That's kind of true.
You can't say the other day?
Boggle.
Wow, you guys are just tag teaming me right now. Jesus.
Boston's offense is so stagnant. It's making me sick.
But I am very, very interested in this Chicago White Sox team. They're actually right now they're one of the teams that actually put their lineup out for me to look at. Adam Dunn batting in the 4 spot against a righty.
He had a home run last night. He could definitely go yard again tonight.
Workman
didn't do well last time, and I advocated that maybe he could meet value at the very least, but no, no.
Who was that against? Who was that last meeting?
Against the Cubs.
Yeah.
The Chicago Cubs.
I had a good yuck about that one. They dominated him.
Yeah.
But yeah, their lineups out at the top of the line. I want to throw some lefties in against Workman. You got Adam Eaton at the top of the lineup hitting first. Adam Dunn in the 4 spot. Connor Gillespie in the 6 spot. And obviously you have the man.
Abreu.
I know, I'm saying.
Throw in Abreu.
He's fine against either. I believe he is hitting, over 410 weighted on base average, even against righties. So.
He's got a beautiful swing on. I mean, that guy, he can go yard any game. Wouldn't be surprised if he did it.
Who is
launch
that
one
guy?
Over. He could launch one over the monster tonight.
Yeah, he is one of the ridiculous offensive threats that can go yard any day. He has, we said it again, he had so many home runs with still being on the DL for a little bit too.
Yep.
That's insane.
Imagine if he started right off the beginning of the season.
Let's see if he pulls a Chris Davis, though, and hits like 7 over the last 3 months of the season.
Well, Chris Davis, it wasn't his rookie year.
That's true.
And he hadn't really done anything prior to what he did last year.
Yep.
Not anything significant.
Not like that.
Abreu's been at this level for a while. He's a consistent guy you can put in. And last but not least, Los Angeles Dodgers going up against your boy Justin Verlander. Man, he's just been a sad sack all season.
I'm taking him.
And LA has a lot of strong hitters. They're 4th in the league against righties. They could just be a nice little gem to put in there too.
Nope. I'm taking Verlander today.
Of course you are. You have to defend your boy. You know what? Let's talk about pitchers. I know you're not actually putting Verlander in, are you?
Yep.
Seriously?
He's dipped below the 10,000 mark.
Oh,
he dipped below the 9,000 mark at 1.2.
He's got the stuff. I think.
I don't think he does.
I cannot advocate for you to be talking about this on the air. Let's talk about actual pitch. Yeah, it's bad. I know your fandom is taking over your
I don't think it is. I think it's coming. And last start, he gave up 2 runs early, and everybody said this is going to happen all over again. And then he went, 7 or 8, and still only gave up that much.
I don't know. I think we've been waiting.
2 runs last start.
I think we've been waiting for it
and
to
a
happen
win.
for a long time.
I'm very upset that I have to say this. For the second day in a row, I'm off the Masahiro Tanaka train. Rest in peace, Masahiro. They're playing in Cleveland. They're actually pretty good against righties. Tanaka, okay, fine. I loved him at his value, even though it's $21,000 on StarFantasyLeagues.com, but do not take him today. Take Julio Teheran, please. Save yourself $4,000.
I don't know.
You're not taking
I don't
Tanaka.
know.
You're not taking him.
Well, I'm not, because I haven't advocated for it at all this year.
Verlander got the win against Oakland last game.
Okay. You just wanted to, he
2
wanted
runs.
to prove me wrong. All right, I'm going for Teheran. I love him at 17,346, StarFantasyLeagues.com. He's going up against the hapless New York Mets. They're hapless.
What about your boy DeGrom on the other side?
I'm taking DeGrom.
I like I said
yesterday.
yesterday.
So John's not allowed to take him?
No. I did admit that I was going for both of them on the show. So.
I'm taking DeGrom and Verlander, and then I'm stacking my bats.
Oh.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I don't like the Padres, and I really do think Franklin Morales could at least meet value. He got 5 points against your Dodgers last time, and that is more than enough.
Okay, if you're advocating for some value, I'm sticking with Vance Worley. He's been a guy I've started, I believe, 3 or 4 straight starts. He's been around 6 every single game he's pitched. I like him, and he's got a decent matchup. Yet again, I feel like every time I'm talking about him, it's because he does have a decent matchup on the board.
Yeah, look at what
St.
we have
Louis
here.
at home.
We have the 2 World Series teams. Neither of them can get anything going. St. Louis is not impressive offensively.
Nope.
They're really not good.
It's as if they lost their biggest bat a couple seasons ago. Did that happen?
I think
yeah,
it did.
Mr. Albert Pujols.
Well, they made it back to the series without him, so.
Yeah, that is true, and then crapped out.
I don't know. I got to go with Willie Peralta because he's playing Philadelphia. Philadelphia has been atrocious over the past month and most of the season. I think that pretty much any pitcher you can throw in there against them. But Willie's got a nice price tag on him. He's around $12,000.
Yeah, another guy I really like a lot is Phil Hughes. This series, Minnesota-Seattle, is going to be really, really low scoring. As seen last night, 2-0 for Seattle.
Yep.
I could see another one of those 2-1, 3-2 games. I think Phil Hughes has the stuff this season. He's looked really good.
Would be your boy Chris Young?
No, we're not talking about Chris. I can't get a ground ball to save my life. Young, it's not happening.
I'm taking him then.
All right, coming after the break, we're giving you all of our top plays of the day for today, Tuesday, Major League Baseball, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
We are back, and we are not yet wrapped up. Tell us how you like the new format of the Star Fantasy League show at the Twitters, at SFL Show. We're changing it up a little bit. We got top news stories of the day on the top of the show. We got John's mailbag, and we are breaking down 2 days Major League Baseball. We just did it. But it wouldn't be complete if we didn't give you our plays of the day. Again, these are for today. You still have around a little over an hour to get your lineup set on StarFantasyLeagues.com. We're We're going to give you our top hitter, top pitcher, value play of the day, and a stack so you can make the best lineup you possibly can on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Zach, lead us off.
All right, well, I am going to be going with Albert Pujols against R.A. Dickey. Been hitting really well lately. I think this is going to be one of those off games for Dickey.
Yeah, you advocate for righties against the knuckleballer.
Always. And we didn't really get to talk about this much, but Bryce Harper sitting pretty at 5,200. Like what I'm seeing there, it's hard to deny that value. Not a bad matchup for him anyways.
The ceiling is extremely high for him.
Yes. And then I am going to put in DeGrom. Love his strikeout opportunities and a decent chance to get a win against Atlanta, even though he's going up against Tehran. I still think he can eke it out.
It could
A lot
happen.
of strikeouts, though. I think he's going to get value.
He's been impressive.
It has. I'm going to admit, this game has the likelihood of being, like I said earlier, for that Seattle-Minnesota series. This has the likelihood of, again, being a 2-1 or a 3-1 or something like that game in either direction.
Absolutely.
And then, I'm also going to put in Verlander, as I said.
Stop picking multiple pitchers just so you can mention Justin Verlander.
And then I'm going to stack that San Diego Colorado game
The whole game?
The whole game. I got some value out of that. I'm going to be able to put in some of the big boys. I'm putting in Tulo tonight.
Tulo, big boy.
Tulo, go boom.
Nice. Right on. Well, I'm going to go with Giancarlo Stanton as my play of the day.
Of course you are.
Yeah, why wouldn't I, man?
Cheap.
Come on.
Always
going up
taking
against
my top option.
He's
Jerk.
going up against my boy Vidal Nuno, who unfortunately just got traded to Arizona, and he's going to get lit up like a Christmas tree today. Sorry, buddy.
I thought you love him.
Christmas
I
is
do.
coming early in Arizona this year.
I do. I love
Nick
him.
thinks
but
he's going to be really good.
I think Vidal Nuno is always good for 4 points. He always has been. But sorry,
Not
he
true. That
just
is not
moved
true.
to Arizona.
4
It's not
points
gonna
and
happen.
4 runs. All right,
Maybe,
continue.
whatever. Value play of the day is going to be Logan Forsythe for Tampa Bay. He's been hitting like around the 6 or 5 hole in the lineup. Tampa Bay's been really hot. I know they're going up against Vargas. Vargas is pretty solid for Kansas City, but at 3,900, I don't think you can argue with the value. Pitcher of the day is going to be Willie Peralta. He's going up against Philadelphia. I love it. Perfect matchup for him, and then stack those Tampa Bay Rays. For some reason, they decided they remembered how to play baseball.
Yes, they did. All right, we're going with my batter of the day. It was Giancarlo Stanton, so I'm taking credit for him if he does well, but I'm on Adrian Beltre.
No!
What? Why?
You can't have my play.
I'm not allowed to have your play?
Nope.
Why not?
You can't put him in your lineup.
Fine. I'm going with Beltre against the Peacock, Brad Peacock. Not that good. Adrian Beltre has been really, really solid. I feel like he could go boom here. Julio Teheran, while he is the second most expensive pitcher on the board, I also feel like he has the highest upside. He does like to stick around that 10 to 12 area for fantasy points. Had 9 against the Mets early in the season. I think he's an easy 10 points. I think he's easy.
So we shouldn't talk more about how you're not taking Tanaka.
No.
Okay.
We already talked about that. Scooter Gennett for value at the top of that Milwaukee Brewers lineup. And I would be a liar if I didn't say I love the Milwaukee Brewers yet again.
Do it.
Yet again.
Do it. I think they're going to fail.
Thanks, man. You don't just want good information.
He's
you just want me to-
confident.
he wants me to fail.
He's
miserably.
feeling confident right now.
All right, he's feeling confident. You should be feeling confident because we just gave you all of our top plays on StarFantasyLeagues.com for today. Get in there. There's a free roll going on right now for $50. You still have an hour to get in that game. Plenty of time to get started. Today is the best day.
Don't
Tweet
forget
us.
to take Justin Verlander.
That's right. Tweet us at SFL Show. No, stop that.
Do
SFL
it.
Show, $5 free in your account. Just do it. Just tweet us.
Play.
I can't believe you and Verlander, man.
$10 if you tweet Verlander.
No.
If you tweet Go Verlander, $10.
And if you still think that Justin Verlander is a golden god, you're thinking it's 12 years ago.
That's me.
Take it easy, guys.